Hi, and welcome to session 3, where we're asking the question, so what's good? As you know, we're going through Psalms 23, and we're using the metaphor of shepherd and sheep. I think it's helpful to remember that Psalms 23, when it was written, wasn't intended to be as famous or as epic as it currently is. I think it's become so famous. Like most people, the only psalm they can recite is Psalm 23, right? It's become that famous because it's really resonated with life. People have found it not just comforting, but so true that God is this shepherd, that God is the one who leads us to green pastures and still waters. It is, as one theologian says, actually, it is where human experience intersects with divine inspiration. And so I'm so thrilled that we're taking time to do Psalms 23. Today, we're reading the next part of that passage where it says, "He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." That line has probably been said at countless funerals. It helps us to grapple with, as you know, the dark, tough times of normal human existence. I mean, I'm standing here in the rain, and we all have rainy, gloomy days. Yet this verse simultaneously is one of the most comforting around. So even though it talks about the valley of the shadow of death, it also has powerful words for us in assuring us that a good shepherd, a good God, is there with us. Here's the thing about shadows. Three things about shadows. One, they're bigger than reality, right? Your shadow that you cast can be very, very big, yet you small. Two, shadows can't actually hurt people. And at the end of the day, with Jesus winning the victory, we know that even the shadow of the valley of death cannot conquer or touch us. And three, every time there's a shadow, there's light somewhere. And so this passage, it's hopeful. It helps us even as a church, as a home group, to do life together. You know, this metaphor of sheep and shepherd, sheep move in flocks. And so this is not just an individual comfort verse that God helps us individually when we go through tough times, but He also helps us as a congregation as we go through tough times. He helps us as a family as we go through tough times. One thing you need to know about sheep is that they have very limited vision, and they can't actually see. They don't have a GPS. They can't see very, very far away. Maybe 10 to 15 meters is the max they can go. So they don't know what the paths of righteousness are. They don't know how to get to good places. In David's day, the good places were usually on slightly higher ground. And so the shepherd would often lead the sheep up mountains to get to good food. Mountains come with valleys, and that's how you get the valleys of the shadow of death. The dark places where actually predators lurk and sheep can be pounced upon. But did you know that in this context, similarly as in with our life, when God takes us, if He's our shepherd, when He takes us through dark places, it's because He's leading us to higher ground. We're safe and secure in God because we know we are going somewhere with Him. I like this passage. It's actually the anchor of the whole of Psalms 23. Psalms 23 has two bookends with verse 1 and the final verse. And in the exact midpoint of Psalm 23 are the words, "For you are with me." So it begins with, the Lord is my shepherd, and it ends with, I will dwell in the house of the Lord. But right in the middle, where it's got the dark verse of the valley of the shadow of death, right in the middle of all of the words is, for you are with me. And theologians believe that is the pinnacle point of the whole of the structure of Psalms 23. David wrote this psalm even in the darkest period of his life, where his own son abandons him. Absalom leads a rebellion against him. He's running, he's hiding in a cave for his life. And he pens these words, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For even though my son is not with me, even though my people are not with me, God, you are with me. And another way to sort of write this is because, as it links back to verse 1, because the Lord is my pastor, I will have no need. And then you get to verse 3 and 4. It says, I will have no fear of disaster because you are with me. Today, I hope you will take time to explore how God can be with us even in the darkest moments where nothing seems good. God bless.